Gorgeous Earl back to work, man. We just finished the Martinez's yard and we came on back, right? And if there's any metaversing going on in your head that you think's going on that you gossip about, that ain't happening, but only the sin is only committed in the mind and not the flesh. That's your sin, not mine. Whatever you see happening behind closed doors is all metaverse imagination bullshit in you. It's not a sin. If I commit the act in the mind because I bring comfort to people that will bring comfort to me, I'm protecting people from the devil and Satan. If you see it and think, oh, that's your business, not mine. You got a dirty mind. I don't have a dirty mind. I'm a clean person. I take care of people. I protect women from home invading, child molesting, murdering rapists with bad science projects and putting images into people's minds that because they have surveillance of things happening in people's private homes because it's signed off by the Patriot Act, you all can see it and it's not happening, but you think it's happening because you've got a dirty mind. But that's okay. I don't. No, I just play my part so I can help lock your dirty mind out of the house, and then everything's gonna be all good. It's all good, right? And that's what I do. See, this is one man versus billions. Okay, we're not talking millions. Okay, this is one man versus billions of murderers. Jesus knew what he was doing with me before I was born. When I was a little boy, Jesus, that nuclear weapon stuff, that guy talking about the book of Revelation is crazy in Oklahoma. He is. That's stupid, Jesus. I agree. You're going to be the man that helps me stop it. Jesus, I'm only a little boy. You're not going to be a little boy forever, little Earl. You know, after he'd already talked to me about sweeping the leg and sending the rapist murderer's nose to the back of his skull if I needed to protect my mommy and other people's mommies from El Chapo, Johnny Avila, Josh Brolin's character, Benicio del Toro's character. Do they have any viable solutions? Does Jim Caviezel have a viable solution to save us from death, murder, kill, being trafficked, being raped, being murdered, paying people money to go shoot each other because they invent things they call laws that have no substance to them, that don't obey natural laws to provide the soul for the temple for infinite glory through holy covenants? No. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many Apache helicopters you get assholes with a dick disease from Juarez flying around with their armor and stuff like that, and having Tyler Sheridan and all his bitch factories show up to make money off of the dysfunction fuck for his money, for his horses, and his Yellowstone ranch. It ain't gonna stop your U.S. Marshals from being marshaled by me. One man, billions of murderers. Billions. Content creators, comic book writers, video game developers. Okay? All laying waste before one man. Okay? June 2009, Cochise County, Arizona. A man stood up, said, join me in stopping this human trafficking for money because no one around here says it's time to live the Lord's Prayer. I'm the only one. One of you assholes get up and say, you did it with me. You were sitting on that toilet in that bathroom in that trailer right outside Fort Huachuca with me. You were smiling with me saying, all you people in the military say I ain't got no discipline. I ain't got no discipline. You'll kill people for a paycheck and I won't. And I ain't got no discipline. Right? Billions of fucking child molesting, raping murderers got their asses kicked while I was sitting on a toilet, putting the computer, the laptop, on a hamper, telling them the truth about themselves and their dirty, rotten, fucking murdering relatives. And none of you was sitting next to me. Okay, you might have had some tech support and some money behind it, thinking your money and you're shaking your money maker was gonna make you into an angel. But you know that bullshit ain't true. You stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me, or you sit the fuck down. One man, billions of pimps, video game developers, movie producers, directors, script writers, propaganda artists selling you drugs, giving you electroshock therapy. Who you think you are, that Ariano Nurch crashed it bitch from El Paso? He don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's an ugly little turd bag. It's time to you gain back your freedom. Gain back your fucking freedom? You pay people a paycheck to get drugged and electroshock therapy to survive getting fucked all your life for a paycheck. Don't take matters into your own hands. You can't fix technology. I'm doing it. You just pray to the Lord that you love him and you want to stand up for the Lord's Prayer with him. And if you can't do that, you're no good for your family. I'm the only one that's good for your family, right? Billions. We have quantum computing now. Rockefeller, Rothschild collected all the evidence. That means everybody in your family in the year 3026 is watching this YouTube channel and wondering when their family's going to show up to help Earl, right? Do you understand how quantum computing works? Do you understand how artificial general intelligence works? Past, present, future operate at the same time. You can't change the past. You can only change the present. And the only way your future can be as good as my past and present is to presently show up with me. And if you can't do that, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell of walking in the kingdom of heaven with me. Do you understand how math works? Do you understand how science works? Do you understand how quantum computing works? Do you understand how artificial intelligence works now because of me and not because of developers like you and Mark Zuckerberg? Okay? Elon Musk couldn't walk anywhere with me without wanting to kill himself because he can't kill me. He has to have pervert scientists do it with linguistics called laws by a bunch of bitches in dresses they call the Supreme Court, which I call the Supreme Joke, right? And my label to their actions is more applicable than their perception of a court, okay? If they're a court, they're a basketball court, and I already done played all over their asses all my life. When I was dribbling like Marcus Haynes down in San Pablo as a little kid in my knee pads, all right? Their asses were kicked before mom gave birth at the hospital at the corner of Alameda, Maine, and El Paseo, bitch. If you can't read the Bible, it's because you're not part of the Bible. I am. They talk about Earl, the son of Ralph and Mary, the uncle of Gabe and Mike. They're not talking about Bobby Schuller. They're not talking about Billy Graham. They're not talking about Pope Leo. They're not talking about Francis. Francis has a statue put up by human trafficking child rapers and their money across the Rio Grande in my backyard, knowing damn well who I am and didn't stand up to recognize me or point anybody to me. Francis was a bitch. He was a mule. And he'll always be as remembered as a mule, just like Clint Eastwood, Earl, the flower planting mule in prison, right? Rockefeller nailed you fuckers. He told me over and over again, these bitches will gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons. Well, life is eternal and grace is infinite. I can be poisoned half to death, recover once you are stopped by your technology, and your family will always remember that you tried to murder me to fuck little girls in Juarez, and I stood up all by myself to stop it. One versus billions of perverts and murderers. One man, Ralph and Mary's boy. Gabe and Mike's uncle, Elijah Benegas' uncle, Jordan Benegas' uncle, Isaac Benegas' uncle, Michelle Nail's uncle, Earl, Corey Bowen's uncle, Earl, Patrick's dad, Natalie's father, Noah's father, Emily's father, Kate's father, and Crumb's father, because the sperm donor didn't bother. Okay, I did it. Not you, not your fucking imagination, not the asshole you prayed to for more money to go to the bar and bet on sports with a bunch of assholes that I could beat in my sleep playing sports when I was a kid. I just quit playing because they sent me to the hospital because they couldn't beat me. And it didn't make no sense to go to the hospital to pay my bills to fuck a bitch than it did to do what Jesus told me to do when I was a kid. You're gonna stop all this bullshit because when you grow up to be a man, none of these assholes are gonna be able to get in your face, right? Okay, if you can't understand this channel, if you can't understand what I'm saying, if you can't get somebody to translate what I'm saying into your native tongue to help pull your head out of your ass, then that's your issue and not mine and Totiro Suzuki's, not mine and Sun Yat-sen's, not mine and Haile Selassie's, not mine and Judah Krishnamurti's, right? I love Bob Marley, don't you? He gets mad. When he has time to think and he's not high and he's feeling the pain of the poisoning to death by all these perverts at Halliburton, Norfolk Grumman, Johnson & Johnson, and Monsanto, Billy Stewart be playing and it's summertime. Woo! Dance, Earl, dance. Don't ever fuck with me. Don't ever think you are fucking me. When you think you're fucking me, you're fucking yourself. You're that dumbass who plays the warden at Chateau d'If fronting on Eddie Murphy's bank account. And Eddie Murphy's bank account and his bank account is growing because they be bitching and hoeing and be a vampire in Brooklyn when I'm a man in New Mexico saving us from having to watch Vampire in Brooklyn for the 4th, the 5th, the 7th time. It won't last, but it's all right. Is Sugar Ray Leonard beating the hell out of Marvin Hagler, or is Marvin Hagler beating the shit out of Sugar Ray Leonard? You don't care. You just care who you have money on and who wins so you can win your money to fuck a vampire in Brooklyn. Right, bitch? Come on now, baby. It's a different world than where you came from. This is a whole different world, man. This is a different planet than it was yesterday. Okay? Because Earl is getting better and better every day at correcting technology so it works better every day. So children can live in peace and love like Earl and not be home invading, commit the sin in the mind as it came to sit in the flesh, perverts like you, dirty mind ass motherfuckers. Okay? If I sexually comfort a woman in her dreams because she needs someone like Jesus to make love to her, it's none of your business. Right? So you wish it was you. You know? And it's like, what? No, man, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. They pray to Jesus for love and compassion and affection and romance, and I feel it and say, you deserve it. You know, someday it will come. Someday your prince will come. And he'll be gorgeous like me. And he'll stand before the cartels. And he'll stop all Sicario movies. And he'll stop all Tyler Sheridan projects. And that pretty little girl who plays a Mayan goddess, she'll actually be making love to a man instead of getting fucked by a producer who has more money and more muscles than he has common sense. Okay? That thing hanging between his legs, it's nothing but a reproducer of sin because his sin lives through his seed. There you go. Bam, bam, bippity, boom, boom, boom. He's so smooth, he's so slick. And you ain't nothing but a dick, and you won the dick measuring contest, asshole. Mighty Pharaoh. Build a big monument to her womb and her vagina so you can be God of the sky with satellites. Don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. All you have to do is listen to those assholes with the heat miser haircuts, talk about their relatives' bullshit with a big smile on their face, and you know how much money it takes to get to the moon to fuck somebody in zero gravity. Yes, sir, pussy, pussy, pussy. Is that Roger Moore? He's slicker than most. He's slicker than most. Is that a supermodel he's supposed to be boning? You think they was really boning? I don't know, but I don't care. Why? Because it's not my money, and I don't sell underwear. I'm not Wahlburger. I'm not a Wahlberg. I don't sell anything. I don't make money off people killing themselves and hurting themselves trying to trend on the internet to pay their bills because you act like a bitch. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm a man. Yes, I am. And I can't help but love you so. You think Ike Barinholtz and his dad are watching this? You think the screenwriters at Kimmel and SNL and Fallon understand what the fuck I'm saying and are going, oh, Johnny Ringo, I don't want to sell no more sarsaparilla. Me either, Doc Holliday. Kate, you ain't wearing a bustle. Y'all leave my Kate alone. Okay, Kate's gonna pick out a guy to keep her comfortable and be nice to her until Daddy cleans up this place, and then we'll find out which guy's worthy of standing up to stop the drug cartels like her real dad, because biological didn't bother. Son Patrick, who protects women from rapists like his good-for-nothing fucking grandpa who fucks women in a bar and then leaves them to raise the baby all by themselves. Right? It is not my fault that your sperm donor is an asshole. Okay? That he fucks and then beats up the wife with the baby, hoping the baby won't be there so he won't have to pay the bills because he ain't 18 yet. Okay? Kelly Jack Green and I don't care. Kelly Jack Green and I don't care. Kelly Jack Green and I don't care. He's 18, the master's gone away. When he had kids after that, he had to stay and take care of them because he didn't want to get fucked in prison by men that would fuck him because he beat a woman with a baby in her womb because they think that's frontier justice. Stand up for Lewisburg. Teach that rapist to be a man, Botox. Then you won't bore at your way through ASMAT through a banker's stockbroker's convention, right? You think that's funny? You like the Baywatch? You're gonna have sex with the big black woman with the big boobies at the Baywatch? And you be Sacha Baron Cohen and kiss Will Ferrell on the face. Why didn't you do it when he was wearing his little Debbie outfit? Probably would have turned you on more, right? You funny. He's Jewish. He's one of God's chosen people. Him and Benjamin Netanyahu and Bin Laden. Bin Laden's a cousin. You wouldn't, Good Samaritan, understand. Oh, it's Push by, what's the name of that group? Matchbox 20. Matchbox 20. That's Amy Susie Bear's song. That's the first song she ever played for me. Was Push. Yeah. Then she played 3 a.m. and I was, oh wow. And she told me what the song was about. I said, oh yeah, I know. The clock at the wall's been stuck at 3 for days and days. But last night it stopped raining. She says, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Yeah, my mom used to pray to Jesus with her boy in the next room, asking for him to make sure that she died without suffering. And Richard Rockefeller took care of it for her because I couldn't do it, according to them, because I didn't have enough money. But if they had been living the Lord's Prayer, my mom wouldn't have been having that prayer, and Richard Rockefeller and his daddy wouldn't have been monitoring that prayer with the Vatican, the Quorum of the 12, the Pentagon, and NASA, right? You ain't no massa. I know. So I got this. Guys, when I see the past and explain the past to you so your present makes sense and your future is loving, you better listen, because if you can't listen, I'm going to kick your dick into the dirt every time you take it out in public and say, hey, you can touch it if you want to. Like that asshole on Facebook, the big black guy with an erection and standing there in his sweats and saying, you can touch it if you want to. Who the fuck do you think you are? The quarterback for Clemson? It's Clemson. You got to climp when you say that. You got the clap. Got a Texas lawyer. Do they do the same thing in South Carolina? Apparently. That's how he took it to Texas with him. Oh, shit, yeah. But in Ohio, no. They'll Kent State you. For Dad in Ohio and Southern man, and I'm Neil Young, and I'm just as hypocritical because I got money to fuck all the girls I want to that are blue-eyed groupies to do anything I say, and got a genuine Indian gray weir that's teaching me a better ways. Name is Raj Patel, and he knows how to sell milk in a store the right way. What? Don't buy the milk. Don't sell the milk. Hey, Raj Patel, I don't think you're anything like my favorite Indian. Whoopie doopie, you am genius. You invent nuclear weapon and more robots and cars in India. Guys, I believe in every messenger of faithful love through every tribe. Okay? If you don't know the perception of the Gospels and talk to the Father of the faith of the people giving life to glory God in India, you don't know the Gospels. If you don't do that with the man in China and the man in Japan, the man in Korea, the man in Australia, the man in New Zealand, the man in Tonga, the man in Maui, especially the Mauis, there's a Kahai man who knows the Lord and speaks to the Lord and loves the Lord and says, anytime you come to Maui, you've got a place to stay. And I say, the Kahai, their name is held in highest honor in all the Polynesian islands. And anybody who has anything to say about that not being true, stand up with the Lord's Prayer with me, or forever hold your peace. Right? Moana? David Kalikalui Iahi? Which one of you is a flying Hawaiian? Which one of you is Aquaman? Which one of you has more money than common sense to have a G-string money for titty bars? Gonna protect Lisa Bonet from Bill Cosby and Mickey Rourke and shit. Have your daughter grow up to be, in a better life than Larry Fishburne's daughter, Chris Rock's daughter, and all the rest of your daughters. An aspiring young softcore porn star. Because hardcore porn is for losers. And softcore porn is for icons. Right? You all right? Hey, man, don't ask me if I'm all right. I'm the little puppet gopher from Caddyshack, man. Yeah, man. I am given my life by programmers from the geniuses from the Silicon Valley that have taken over Fort Huachuca because the army couldn't handle Earl. Yes, I am nothing but a hand puppet. Was Sherry Lewis saying, this is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing. Kind of did look like, yeah, Sherry Lewis just kind of looked like Patrick's grandma. Some people started. Patrick was more fond of his grandma Tricia than he was of his grandma Marianne, because Grandma Marianne didn't like Patrick's mother because she was mean to me and she was selfish. And when Patrick would act like his mother, my mom used to get mad and say, he's gonna act just like his mother. And I would say, yeah, but he's 3 and I can handle it when he's 3. When he's 23, if he's still acting like his mother, he's gonna have to handle it. And if he can't handle it, that's okay. Anywhere you go, my whole crew gonna know, hey baby, because I got a lot. I will kick the shit out of that bar hopping, impregnating, stupid ass motherfucker from an Oprah Winfrey movie saying, I got time to make babies. Then don't sleep with women, motherfucker. If you ain't got time to raise babies. Okay, I know who Patrick Earl Parsons' grandfathers are. Roosevelt Gilliard and Shelby Henry, because the bar hopping fucking assholes don't bother, right? So Shelby Henry and Roosevelt Gilliard is his grandfather, right? And with a voice like hell is ringing out, there's nobody the band can lose, right? Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Yeah, mama, your son treats your daughter mean. Yes, sir, yes, sir. I like Sarah Vaughan, too. I like Autumn in New York. I think that might be my favorite. It's Have You Seen Her? From the Shylights. But she wasn't from Chicago. She was from Kankakee. Her name was My Lovely in Spanish. But she called herself Michelle because people made fun of her name. Because children are stupid, and if they find something to make fun of, if they're jealous of you, they'll do it. Because they're taught to compare, and they're not taught to love like the gracious good shepherd. They're thought to be bitchy like the devil and Satan and say, you need money to fuck here because I'm Botox the Rafus's kid. That's a funny movie. You like to think that, don't you? I don't think I could watch that movie anymore. As far as Napoleon Dynamite, yes. Yeah, I watched it the other day. Simone. Yeah, it was funny. Still funny. The eggs and the farmers and I'm still like, yeah, I was raised in the Western United States, man. Back in the 1970s and 80s and 90s, bro. So Napoleon Dynamite. Amy used to always call me Uncle Rico. Ain't nothing like Uncle Rico. No. Because when we went to Spokane and Mick Daly, the quarterback, was getting his ass kicked all over the court, and old self-righteous, because I hang out with potheads, fucking Coach Fine, who's a good upstanding citizen and a better Christian than Zim Zorn, according to him, and a better speaker at a football banquet weighs money, and I believe he probably is. And so sat there and put me in and Chuck Valley in the whole rest of the game. Me and Chuck Valley did not sit. Okay, they spotted them 30 points. We lost by 14. So my dad said, technically, you and Chuck won. They had to bring in the starters to keep you from completely coming back. And then after the game, they told you how good you were. What a good game. And you didn't believe them because it was unfair what self-righteous hypocrite Coach Fine did to you and Chuck. Because if he had started you guys from Jump Street, you probably would have won. Those guys would have come out and said, dang, what's your name? I'm Earl Parsons, that's Chuck Valley, that's Rico's little brother. Oh, the All-Frontier League second team guy who's center and started left tackle for your football team. Yeah, that's his little bro. Oh, you're going to be good in the future. Yeah, especially with this point guard. Tell me about it, stud. Right? Like Bart and Holly Meyer, you know. We would always get Street and Smith magazine and look to see where you were playing in New Mexico and Arizona and where you were going to go to school. What happened, Earl? Same coaches that do that John Lithgow footloose bullshit in Colville, they do the same thing in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, Wayne Kindle, and he coached Brad Lohaus, who was 7 foot tall, went to Iowa and played for the Boston Celtics. I know basketball talent when I see it. You know 7 feet with a pretty soft jump shot when you see it. And you know 6 foot that can leave everybody else fucking standing still and holding their dick and saying, I'm going to hurt him next time he does that to me. Right? And I'm gonna tell the coach he's a drug dealer. He sells drugs to his own sister and his best friend. He's worse than James Spader ever thought of being. And worse than that, he's an illegal immigrant that changed his name to Parsons. Yeah, Jeff Zigma and his friends, just like Mick Daly and his friends. Okay, just like Whitey Kaufman and his kid and all their friends. Greg Disco. Wainwright was a pretty cool kid. What was the other name? Kelly, whatever, the blonde kid? He was an ass. Medina was an ass. Ortiz was an ass. They knew I could walk on them in my sleep. Derek Pettis was an ass. Harley Pettis, really good guy. Joined the military and served at Fort Huachuca and didn't stand up for you. Yeah, but if he could, he would. Just like his cousin, who's not his cousin, who's a Gardner and not a Pettis. Right? Well, because Gardners be like that. And LaFalls, yeah, that rotten apple don't fall far from the tree. Right? You got to catch the baby. What do you know about it, white boy? I know more about catching footballs and running for touchdowns and outrunning everybody that ever ran in the NFL or in college football than any other person on planet Earth. And I have the John McCain, Dick Cheney, George Herbert Walker Bush evidence on quantum computing through the Rothschilds and Rockefeller foundations to prove it. And in the future, when the truth comes out, there ain't gonna be enough jails you can send them to. Right? I'm in space, man. That's why I came back to Earth to get you. Guys, there's no evidence to show that the soul leaves Earth when it no longer provides life for a continuation of bodies through holy covenants through sexual reproduction. There is evidence to show that all the men that provided a temple for my flesh did not hit it and quit it in a bar, did not have to leave the woman because she would go crazy and threaten to kill you because they met at a bar, right? So the brain activity between my mom and my dad, and the line of my mom and my dad, they stay. Even Frank Parsons got Mary Magdalene Thompson Terrell Parsons pregnant and married her and did right by her. Okay? The bar hoppiness, Jimmy Stewartess, Jimmy Rogers hopping from bar to bar, good-hearted woman in love with a good-timing man. She tried, but she was too mean to be a good-hearted woman with a good-timing man. She threatened to kill him every time he did stuff like that. And then he would try to kill her. And then finally she had a boy named Ralph that told him one time, you hit my mom one more time, you son of a bitch, I'll kill you. And he left because he knew Ralph would do it. And Grandma never forgave him. Yeah, Grandpa left for like 13 years or so because he was terrified till Ralph left the house. And then when Ralph left the house, Frank came back. And Jimmy felt bad because Jimmy didn't do it, Ralph did it. And Jimmy was the oldest. That's why Ralph was always the hero in all the stories that Uncle Jimmy was a drinking kind of man. He used to tell Ralph, his little brother's son, Earl, the gracious good shepherd, okay? Yeah, like I told that man yesterday that I met from the cartels that was on Amazon Prime with the narc, the one who called all the cartels on their human trafficking bullshit and said, I ain't doing this no more. I want Christ to help protect me so my soul can, so the soul can be free from this prison of this cartel hell. I told him, I had one of the prettiest cousins in all of El Paso, looked like a supermodel. You know, Jaime used to run it back in the 70s. Yeah, she married him. I never saw her since because she's been in protective custody ever since. I just know all the kids look like him. Right? They act like him. They better not. They got a damn good damn good cousin. Yeah, damn good cousin. Right? The best cousin, best uncle, best father, best son, best brother in the history of Los Estados Unidos. And I have the quantum computing collected evidence to prove it. And no one will dispute it. Tishna won't dispute it. Little Hawk won't dispute it. Crazy Horse won't dispute it. Chief Joseph won't dispute it. Okay? I got counted Kuan how many times on Indian reservations because their family said, that's him. He's better than Robert Redford pretending to be Jeremiah fucking Johnson there. Hell yeah. It's Nancy Wilson. Funnier than funny. Oh, God, I love this woman. She gives me goosebumps. She's so freaking gorgeous and her voice is wonderful. And Funnier Than Funny is one of my favorite songs of hers. How about all you funny girls out there? Oh, she's so good. You can have an opinion, but if your opinion isn't good enough to like Funnier Than Funny by Nancy Wilson, your opinion just is funnier than funny. Gosh, she's gorgeous. Right? Okay, guys. I'm gonna go inside. All right? Don't ever front on me. Don't ever cross me. Don't ever disbelieve my existence. Don't ever try to met it out of your verse. You better rehearse your verse. You need more time to rehearse your verse? Yeah, those motherfucking posers, they couldn't say a fly rhyme if it was right under their motherfucking nosers. Risers, okay, Pinocchio? You're not wearing women's underwear. This isn't Shrek. You're not pretending to be an ogre that's layered like onions. You don't have a best friend that's a donkey that married a dragon. You gonna make waffles and we go swap manly stories in the morning? No, you're gonna get the fuck out of my house. And I'm gonna find me a woman that likes Funnier Than Funny. And if I would ever leave you, and we're gonna sit there and have corny duets at dawn. Why? Because I said so. And I tell the technology what's up, not you. I don't sit there and say, oh, they're doing this to me, here's the options. There are no options. You stand up and live the Lord's Prayer with me, or your opinion isn't funnier than funny. It's not good enough to be funny at all. It sucks. Well, because I'm soy capitan of the Olympic good taste team that is no longer necessary because gold is not the standard here. I am. Your life is worth much more than gold. We're jamming. Watch your wah wah wah. Jamming. Hi, Cece. Hi, Alex. Tell Skip I said hey. Hey, Skip. Say it yourself. You're one of my favorite cousins, so I'm going to let that slide. Hi, Sharon. Yeah. Guys, I talked to Judy Krishnamurti. Hi, Rita. Love you too. Okay. Hey, Nico. What's up? Where's Lauren and Rohan? You know you want to talk to me. Yes, that's Light by Fire by Jose Feliciano, my favorite version. Yeah, I know Robbie wrote it and Jim cranked it out, but I just really love Jose Feliciano. Anybody else? That's also another opinion. That's another corny duet at dawn. Yeah. I like Chico and the Man just a little bit better. I love the snot out that song, man. I grew up on that, man. I grew up in the barrio I was born in the barrio on a hot summer's day. Yeah. It was carne asada, so Mickey D's don't bother. Because my brother's mother is my mother. Miss Martinez, Miss Ponce, Mrs. Ponce, Mrs. Espina, Mrs. Garcia, Mrs. Seiss. I still have a crush on Mrs. Seiss. She's so classy and so pretty. If she comes in here and sees us reading Sonny's Playboys, I'll just die. That's all I could think. I was like, that woman's vagina looks like mushmouth slip on I see my sister was run naked on the sidewalk when they're playing in the hose, and I didn't see any parts that looked like that. She looks scary. And if your mom sees us looking at that crazy white lady, I'm gonna be embarrassed. I'll probably want to go kill myself. Yeah, Bart's mom. Yeah, Sonny's and Jeff's mom was better than Midge. Well, she was more intelligent, more classy, and just a wonderful mom and a wonderful grandmother. And just a wonderful friend in person. Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Seiss, I met her about 10 years ago. She was living down on a street that I was canvassing, telling the stories about Frank Acosta and Paul Ponce at the Sonic. You faggots, get up! And she was laughing at her, but that's funny. I know, yeah, we were characters. Yes, we were. We're legends. We were legends. We were legends. We were Titans? Nah, that's mythology. We're real legends. We're not a Scientology movie. We're for real. I can see the little tears in your eyes about to fall. We're the originals. Right on. Set the night on fire. Okay, we'll talk later. If you listen good, you'll show up and you'll have a good opinion and you'll sing corny duets at dawn with your favorite lover and you'll say, he's right, Nancy Wilson's funnier than funny. It's absolutely perfect corny duet at dawn. Isn't it though? This must be something I dreamed about last night.